Welcome to this week's episode of Coffee with the Journalist, brought to you by OnePitch. The guests on our show include some of the most notable journalists from the top US-based publications who cover topics including technology, lifestyle and culture, health, science, consumer products, business news, and beauty and wellness. We discuss their role, the types of stories they cover, what their inbox looks like, and how they connect with sources. Head to onepitch.co and look for the video page to learn more about our new video series featuring journalists from the show. Our guest today on Coffee with the Journalist is Jae Thomas, a shopping reporter at Mashable. Jae covers kitchen goods, pet products, and fitness gadgets. During the episode, Jae starts by sharing more about their coverage and the team at Mashable, why they love pitches that are straightforward, how you should structure your subject lines for them, and more. Let's hear from Jae now.
Welcome, everyone. This is Coffee with the Journalist. We have a journalist with us today, and I actually have coffee. How rare. This is like probably only 10% of the time on this show. But I'm Beck Bamberger. I have an agency named BAM. We work with all venture-backed technology companies, and I started OnePitch because us journalists and publicists need better ways and tools to work better together. So if you're a journalist or even a publicist listening to this, usually mostly publicists, and you're looking at better ways to connect with your journalist friends, because we all need each other, this is a show for you. And thank you for listening and being here. I think we're almost up to 200 of these, so it's been going. With me today, exciting, I hope you like shopping, we have Jae Thomas, who's the shopping reporter at Mashable, live from New York. Welcome, Miss Jae.
Hello, thank you. Thanks so much for having me. Super excited.
Your first podcast too, Jae, you said.
It is my first time being on a podcast. I'm usually
I love
at the
it.
end of the interview.
Exactly. And actually, I've done this now for some time, as I mentioned, and it's funny. Some of the reporters are like, oh my God, but I'm uncomfortable. Like, I'm usually asking the question, it's funny. I like putting it on the other side. So that's been good. Well, Jae, first off, we like to start off with, usually the inbox, but I'm doing this more often with an overview of the outlet, just in case, someone isn't familiar with the Washington Post or the New York Times or what, but can you give us an overview on Mashable? And then let's talk about your beat, specifically shopping.
Yeah, of course. So I work for Mashable. Mashable is a tech and culture pub. We're a little bit nerdy. We're a little bit catered towards Gen Z and millennials, but I'm specifically on the shopping team. So we're covering lots of tech. We're covering trending products from TikTok. We're covering kitchen gadgets, lots of tech, definitely.
Yes.
But anything that's trending and cool and of the moment, we're covering at Mashable Shopping.
Including you've done tonal, you've done solo stove, You've done some Prime Day air fryer stuff, all the things you could possibly get. Oh man, your mailbox must be full. We'll talk about that in a second, because I've had people who receive actual product and what do you do? So your inbox, Jae.
Yes.
How crazy is it in there?
Right now, it's kind of insane. We're coming up on Prime Day, which is a real big time for us. Yep. So I can run you through my inbox right now.
Oh, yeah. Let's do a live look.
Okay. So
what's in there?
Looking at my inbox right now, I have 89 unread emails, and about 90% of these are going to be PR pitches. And I keep my inbox at 0 all the time, which I know not everyone does.
Oh, you're on that side of the spectrum. There's two camps in this whole group. There's the let it ride to 57,000, and then there's the absolute zeros.
Yes.
And then there's some in between, but yes. So if you have 89, then how's it going to get to 0? Is that going to be quick?
So actually, I cleared it to 0 this morning when I logged on.
Oh.
It's now only about 1 p.m. So it's been a few hours and I'm up to 89 again. On a normal day, I typically receive around 150 to 200 PR emails. So as you can imagine, that's quite a lot of things to go through.
That's a lot.
I do look at every single subject line though.
Okay.
So we'll talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So is the subject line key to an open?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I will not open an email unless there is a subject line that's targeted towards me.
Okay.
I can't open every email. If I spent all day,
oh my God, no.
It would literally take me all day and I wouldn't be able to write anything.
Exactly.
So the subject line is definitely the most important thing when pitching me and other e-commerce journalists as well, just because we're dealing with such a high volume of emails. We're dealing with products. Everyone wants to get in our inbox.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So what's a good subject line for you? An openable email subject line?
An openable one will definitely have the product name or the brand. It'll be straightforward. I don't love like angle subject lines, like trying to I get a lot of these where it's like trying to relate to a
cutesy.
Yeah, like cutesy, or it's trying to relate to like a pop culture moment that doesn't really relate to the product or the brand. So I don't love that, but I just love a straightforward one. Like if you're pitching me a deal, put the product name and tell me that it's a deal in there. If you're pitching me a review opportunity, put that it's a review opportunity with the brand name.
Yes.
As e-commerce journalists, like it's kind of our job to find what the angle of the story is. So I don't really need the angle subject.
Okay. So you want simple, you want it clear, you want the name of the product.
Yes.
Okay. I do like that. Now, if you have that and now you open the email, what are the elements, maybe 3, we like to ask 3, of a really slam dunk pitch I will respond to level?
Let's see. I love it when pitches are based on other stories that I've written. I love to know that the PR rep that I'm talking to is familiar with my work.
Yes.
Especially if like a brand that you're pitching is super similar to something that I've written in the past, reference that. Like, let me know that you've read this review and that you think that this brand could be a good fit for something similar. That's like a really easy way to get me to agree to try your product out or to write about it. I also really love pitch emails that are formatted like a story. I love to see like headlines. I love to see links really high up in the pitch. As an e-commerce journalist, if you get me to open it with your subject line, I'm looking for a link right away. I want to look at the product. I want to read the product.
Yes, link the product.
Yes.
Link the product. Yeah.
Photos are also great.
I was just going to say, so you want photos, do you want links, or do you actually like attachments? I know that's a debate as well sometimes.
I don't mind attachments. You could include both, definitely.
Okay.
If you have like a one-sheeter on your brand or your product, you can go ahead and include that, but I'm definitely going to put the link first.
Got it. And you know what? I haven't heard before someone say, oh, I want to hear it like a story.
Yes.
I want to hear it like a story, like put in a head. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So is there an example that you have by chance? I don't know if you want to like pull one live or something, but like where the person was like, hey, I'm pitching you this, but like, this is the part of the top 19 dog treats to celebrate your dog this summer.
Yeah.
And my product is, here it is, link. Yeah.
Right. I'm thinking more in like terms of like structure, like a story. I like to see like what we call like an H2 headline, which is just like a big title and like title, give me bold, give me titles, just make it easy for me to skim through. Like kind of like a reader at a publication.
Yeah.
My attention span is not super long. I'm skimming, I'm looking for the best. I don't have a lot of time. So if you can give me structure, I love bullet points, like that.
+1 bullet points.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Okay. And then you do respond and you're like, hey, I really want this. Okay. What are some of the tips for being on your best list, your like go-to PR list, for now responding correctly and the best way possible? So you respond, and then what's best practices there?
Yeah. So if I respond and I tell you that I'm interested, I would love to set it up like kind of immediately. If you're pitching me a review, just get right to it and ask me like, how can I send you these products? Which ones do you want?
Yes.
What size do you want? Which color do you want? You can totally ask me more about, what a review entails, and I can send you some similar stories that I've written, but love to get it going like kind of right away. Another thing that I feel like PR people don't think about that much is that most reporters have to get things cleared with their editor. So you're pitching me, but I'm pitching the editor. So it might take a little bit of time between when you pitch and when it gets approved. So if I'm interested, I almost always will respond and be like, hey, I'm interested in this. Let me shoot it to my editor. I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
And then I'll follow up, of course, whether it was approved or not, which usually if I'm taking on a pitch from my inbox, it almost always gets approved.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
Good to know. Now, what do you do with all those products, Jae? Where do they go? And I know, by the way, many people, like we had Wirecutter on here, very strict guidelines, very strict on what can be accepted. Like they will not take anything unsolicited. You can never just send the New York Times.
Absolutely
just random products. So how does it work for you all?
So at Mashable, our policy is that we can't take on any like random samples or PR boxes unless we have a story that's like lined up for it.
Got it.
So, I mean, a lot of PR folks have like press boxes that they want to send to people, but I mean, it's like against our journalistic code of ethics to accept those kinds of things unless we're actually writing a story about them. So if you have my address in your database, please don't send me random products. I will have to take it away. I will have to donate it. I will not be able to write about it.
Got it.
In terms of products that we receive for reviews, if it's under a certain amount of money, it's escaping me, but I think it's like $50 or $60. We can keep it after the review is published.
Okay.
But anything that is more than that, we either have to donate, give away,
return,
or return it, which is it's kind of fishy about returning because a lot of brands don't want used.
They don't want the return. Yeah.
And like, especially with really big products, it's kind of hard.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
It is a little bit left up to us. And I don't think there's a really good, like, one size fits all situation or like process for this. And a lot of e-commerce publications don't really know what to do about this yet. And it's not very streamlined. Like, my partner works at CNN_. He's also an e-commerce journalist. And
oh gosh.
So we just have tons of products and we almost never know what to do with them. But the vast majority of them get donated or we hand them out to people that we know.
Yeah. Oh God. How fun is it being with someone who's also getting tons of products? Do you have like dinners where you're like, okay, do you want to see what I'm doing today? Like, do you have product swap time?
Kind of. I mean, we live together. So our apartment is just kind of inundated with products all the time. Sometimes it is nice though, because our products will like overlap with each other and we'll be writing similar stories. So I can like take a peek on what he's testing and be like, oh, maybe I should also review that. But I would not recommend dating an e-commerce journalist if you're an e-commerce journalist and you live in a very small apartment.
Oh my God. How do you do it?
Just loaded with boxes. Honestly, I'll tell you the real way that we do it.
Yeah. How do you do it?
His company funds a storage unit. And he puts all of his products in a storage unit. And most of my products stay here because I tend to review smaller things, but he reviews large things like suitcases. And I also do kitchen appliances or like small kitchen appliances, which can take up a lot of space. But most of his stuff goes in a storage unit. So it's really only my stuff in the apartment.
Wow, a storage unit.
Yes.
Jesus.
Shout out to CNN for the storage.
Yeah, dang. Okay, that's the first time I've heard that. Okay, so Jae, when you are thinking about what you're going to review, like obviously you're doing Prime Day because that's an obvious, but like you're doing fitness mirrors. You looked at tonal, you did, herbs that you're growing. How do you determine what you're going to write about?
A lot of that is just online research.
Okay.
I'm looking at similar publications as us and kind of seeing what brands they're covering and then seeing what we've written about in the past. It is a lot of online research to kind of, create a pool of products that will fit for our roundups and stuff. I'm also looking at user reviews online, but I'm never just basing my writing on those kinds of things.
Yeah.
I always really try to do hands-on testing and see how it is in real life, not just based on reviews.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. You want to touch it, you want to feel it, all that good stuff. Okay.
Today's interview will continue after this brief message brought to you by OnePitch. Are you curious to see the unique ways OnePitch helps PR professionals and marketers pitch journalists? Head to onepitch.co to learn about our new OnePitch score and see how easy it is to find the right journalist to pitch your news to. Sign up for your free account today. Now, back to today's episode.
Jae, I have some fill-in-the-blank stuff here, so let's see what we get for our answers.
Okay, great.
The first one, my favorite sources always.
My favorite sources always send me embargoes and exclusives and put the brand name in their subject line.
Oh, okay. So we didn't talk about that. I usually ask about how do you feel about exclusives and embargoes. So tell us what you feel on that.
Yes, I love exclusives and embargoes. I especially love embargoes for deals around shopping holidays. It helps so much to know what's going to be on sale on what day and at what price.
Yes.
It helps me actually pre-write a lot of the deals posts so that they're ready to go before the shopping holiday hits. So it's really nice to get deals embargoes ahead of time. And I'm actually working with some deals embargoes now for Prime Day, which obviously I can't tell you about.
No, of course. It's not the day yet. No.
Yes. And I also love embargoes and exclusives for new product launches, especially if they're brands that I've covered before or, product types that I've covered before.
Yes.
My lead time for reviews.
Yes, that was my next question.
Oh, yeah. It's usually pretty long, and we can fill in the blank on that. But just the more time I get, the better.
Okay. And do you have a delineation around what is an actual exclusive versus an embargo? Do you want to expand on that?
Yes, definitely. I prefer embargoes. I prefer to know, when a launch is happening, when the embargo is lifted. It does make me feel like I'm getting ahead of the curve,
Got it.
With that specific of an embargo date, I can start to plan my content more.
I see. Okay. So you like it for planning purposes. Do you, though, feel this is a sore topic on here with people? Okay, I get an exclusive, but then it's not a true exclusive because 2 hours later, then someone else takes it or something. Is it basically, do you have any qualms about what the actual definition of exclusive is? Or are you like, I just care about my embargo. I don't really care about that.
Yeah, I try to stay away from the exclusive language, mostly because, again, my lead time is so long that I'm not always going to be able to drop the review or the story the day that it launches. I definitely care more about the embargoes and the date that I can release certain information.
Yeah.
And I don't really care if other pubs are getting quote unquote exclusives or if other pubs are getting sent the same embargoes as me. At the end of the day, the product is going to be written from my point of view for the Mashable brand. So our readers are different than, a Wirecutter reader or a CNN underscore reader. So yeah, definitely don't mind that much about that.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Do you ever have the same product get reviewed by both of you, your partner and you?
Yes.
Does that ever happen? Yes. Oh my God.
It happens pretty frequently, more frequently than probably we'd like to admit.
Oh my God. And then do you well, look, I got more clicks on mine. Do you guys compare stats? Is it competitive at all?
It's a little bit competitive. It's not I don't know. I'm not trying to beat him out, but I do kind of give him a little bit of hell if he steals my idea or he uses a source.
Hell yeah.
Using.
I love it.
We both wrote some composting stories a while back, and I interviewed a source, an expert source, and then he wrote a composting story and told me I read it after it pubbed, and he used the same source that I used, and I was like, did you read my story and go and find my source, or was this just an accident?
Oh my God.
I think he stole my source, but it's okay. I'm not that bitter.
That's too funny. God, this seems like a little show or something. All right, back to our fill in the blank. Here we go.
Yes.
You'll never get a response from me if.
Ooh, you'll never get a response from me if you follow up the day of within 24 hours of a non-time sensitive pitch. I won't respond.
That's annoying.
It's just a lot. I have tons of stuff in my inbox. Wait a couple of days to follow up with me if you haven't heard, or wait a week even. Within 24 hours is a lot. And it's a little bit annoying to get things bumped up to the top of your inbox that were just at the top of your inbox.
Yeah. Yeah. You can follow up with me
if I've responded once and you haven't heard from me in a while, might have just gotten lost or I forgot. To be honest, I'm a little bit forgetful, so feel free to remind me that I responded and, kind of get the ball rolling on things. Or you can also follow up with me if I agreed to write a story on your product and you're just checking in on how testing or review is going.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm always happy to walk you through the process. I'm always happy to, let you know my thoughts and how I'm testing right now and how it's going. So
excellent. Okay. Next fill in the blank. The appropriate amount of lead time for a story is.
Okay, so this is going to depend on what kind of story it is.
Yes,
so for a deal, if you're pitching me a deal, the week of or the week before is totally fine.
Okay.
As much notice as you can give me is fine. But if it's a month out, I might forget. So try to get it a little bit closer to when that deal is going to be live.
Okay. That sounds good.
For a review or roundup consideration for a product, honestly, I would say at least a month. But sometimes it can take up to 3 or 4 months, depending on my, how my time is being managed and my workload. So if your product isn't really time sensitive and it's not seasonal, it might take a couple of months for me to get around to the review and write it.
And my favorite stories to write are
Ooh, right now I'm really into dog product reviews. I have a dog.
I see that. Yes, you mentioned it on Twitter.
Yeah.
I think so.
All the time. I talk about her nonstop. I especially love testing outdoor focused dog gear. It gives me an excuse to hang out with my dog during the workday. It's really fun.
Miso.
Yeah.
Miso, your dog.
Miso is my dog. She is my child.
Great. It's the millennials' new child.
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so dog product. Okay, I hope publicists are listening to that dog-friendly stuff.
Pitch me dog products. I love them. Pitch me aesthetically pleasing dog products, too. I'm such a sucker. I love the millennial dog branding.
Yes. On point. Okay, Jae, what are you reading, watching? We'll take listening. We'll take anything. You got anything? Streaming? Anything?
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, I kind of doom scroll the New York Times app way too much given the current
I do. New York Times too. Yes, I do too. Same.
I'll try to keep it more lighthearted and talk about what I read and watch for entertainment.
Yes.
So I actually just started reading Dune for the first time, which is kind of crazy because I'm a big sci-fi guy.
Me too. But my God, it's dense. That thing is dense. Yeah. Oh God. Okay.
I even took a few science fiction focused classes while I was an undergrad. So I'm honestly really surprised that I didn't have to read it for a class.
Yeah.
But I watched the new movie with Timothée Chalamet.
Yeah, it is a stunning movie. We have to admit.
I love sci-fi movies, but I actually watched it before I started reading the book, and it's helping me understand the world building much better. Definitely not too bad to watch the movie first and then read the book after if you're into
that. Okay, that's a good tip because I've seen the movie. I've tried twice now. To listen to that book. It's not a good audible one. Like those books, you're just like, oh God, it's just too dense. I need to look at every line. It's just not happening.
And with all the made up words of
oh my God,
it's a lot.
It's a lot. Okay, so Dune. Okay, great. Yes. Anything else?
I also just started actually today reading through the new Eater fried chicken package.
Oh, what?
It's called the United States of Fried Chicken. It's a bunch of awesome enterprise reporting about fried chicken all over the world. Yeah.
Wow.
It's really awesome. There's so much great cultural reporting in there, and I'm really excited to read through it. I love food writing.
Oh, I think it's so fun.
It's so personal and it's so tied to culture in so many ways.
Yes.
And I'm especially excited about this because fried chicken kind of crosses so many geographical and cultural boundaries.
Yes.
So I'm stoked to read up on all of the different cultural fried chickens.
Fried chicken.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh my God. Oh, okay. Those are great recommendations.
Yes.
Jae, what do you think the future of journalism is, especially being a relatively-ish new grad from New York University, Holler, New York? What do you think?
I do feel like talking about the future of journalism can sometimes get a little bit dark. When you're talking about especially political writing or breaking news and stuff like that, and print journalism, everyone's always afraid that print journalism is dying. So instead of talking about that, I'm going to talk about the future of e-commerce and shopping journalism. Since that's my industry. I have a workaround.
Perfect.
It's funny because e-commerce journalism can sometimes be referred to as quote unquote selling out among investigative and news journalists.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
But I kind of want to highlight that that's not the case, and that e-commerce journalism is just growing and it's becoming way more of a utility for people's shopping habits. I love e-commerce journalism because it really is service journalism as much as,
I agree.
Some people don't agree, but I truly believe it's service journalism. It's conversational writing that's meant to help people spend their money in a thoughtful way. And that feels really intimate to kind of help people, decide what they're going to do with their money. I love being the expert source that tells people which products are worth the money and which ones you can skip on. Also, I think considering the current state of inflation and, kind of geopolitical unrest and everything else that's going on in the world, this kind of e-commerce advice is going to become even more valuable. People want to save money and only spend their money on products that are actually going to last and, make their lives easier. So it is nice to think that we're contributing to the current shifts in consumer behavior by writing about, the best deals and giving shoppers more insight into products. We're helping people pretty much just like every other company.
Yeah.
And I think that e-commerce journalism is only going to grow as people are looking for more advice on how to spend their money.
I love it, Jae. I love how you're let me tell you specifically about my vertical of journalism. Yes. I love it. And I mean, who doesn't Google the product beforehand,
exactly.
Read reviews. And frankly, I don't read Amazon reviews from dingbats from who knows where.
You can't trust it. So
I cannot. I always
them are
myself.
Sponsored too, so you can't trust
Half of
it.
them are sponsored. And I'm like, I can't trust that this person is anywhere in my viewpoint. No. I always look at journalists' reviews and from outlets I trust. So +1 on that.
Yes, absolutely.
Jae, thank you so much for being here today.
Yes, of course.
Jae Thomas, reporter, shopping reporter, specifically Mashable. Check it out. Send her, if she says so, dog-related, classy, well-branded stuff.
Yes.
Outdoors, please.
Yes, please send me kitchen products, fitness.
Ooh, kitchen products.
Pets,
get that summer going.
Those are my main
Love
needs. You can read more of my stuff on Mashable.com. Check out my page.
Check it out. We'll link it in there.
Yes, pitch me anything that is related to my beats or related to stories that I've written in the past.
And write a good subject line.
Yes, write a good subject line.
Please.
And please include the brand name in the subject.
Yes. There you go. Jae, thank you so much.
Yes, of course. Thanks so much for having me.
You got it.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Coffee with the Journalist featuring Jae Thomas from Mashable. If you enjoy listening to our show, make sure to subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and anywhere else you listen to podcasts. And if you have a moment, please leave us a review to share your thoughts about the show and today's guest. To learn more about the latest tools on OnePitch and to subscribe to our weekly podcast newsletter, head to our website at onepitch.co. We'll see you all next week with a brand new guest and even more insights about the journalists you want to learn more about. Until then, start great stories.